There's something cleansing about the ocean that wipes away the crud of the land from the regular world.
There's no judgment in the ocean. I can just be myself.
Surfing is more spiritual. It's so open, and there's vibes that you get from it. And then you go there and then you feel more like peace within yourself.
It's forgetting about what's happening here, about the stresses of your life, and the water's free flowing. I mean, it's the one thing that literally connects us all worldwide.
You gotta think about it. What creates these waves? Storms, right? Energy. Those waves travel hundreds, if not thousands of miles to get to their destination. And then you have the opportunity to ride that pure energy right here in Huntington Beach.
We are a beach town, and each little spot has its own crew and community. So they're all unique, and it's just this great escape from the regular world. And we're blessed in Huntington Beach that we have the ability to do that. In the old days when I was growing up, I grew up as a Grom. I'll never forget, like the old things that there were the surf theater. We'd go to watch surf movies, and you'd hear everybody be yelling, and you'd hear bottles rolling down the aisles, and smell weird things and go nuts watching movies. Also, we had a killer music venue, the Golden Bear. So you'd go, you could surf all day, and then you'd go to this classic old place to watch music. There was definitely like a gritty vibe, and you had to, have your head on a swivel a little bit.
I remember coming here when I was 10, and a vivid recollection of how it kind of looked like the Wild West. Kind of rough around the edges.
Moved out to Huntington Beach just after high school. At that time, my mom owned a condominium right by the pier. So that was like our weekend getaway, and that introduced me to the ocean. Always was really intrigued by surfing. I copped a lot of crap for being a bodyboarder. So I eventually grabbed an 8.6 mini longboard as a Robert August. And I went out there and caught my first wave fairly easily, stood up, and I'm like, oh, looked around, I was like, this is what everybody was talking about. And so from there on out, I started surfing and just kind of made it my everything. The salt water started permeating through my veins.
The old localism isn't what it used to be. There's kind of a different mindset there as far as crowds. So when I was growing up, you would get beat down, and it was physical, and you had to be prepared to fight or flight. But I think whoever's giving that type of vibe out, they are suffering more than the person that is getting vibed out on it. And so people got educated and figured that out, and that's not there as much as it used to be. People understand they're just like you, and ultimately this is going to make people better people if they are surfers. There is something going on that helps everybody that gets in the water.
Things have really changed. It's like a totally different place. There's pluses to the old days, but things are they're super cleaned up now.
I've seen the city kind of change a little bit in a positive way. It's having one of the biggest stretches of beaches in the county. It's nice to welcome our residents in LA, people out in Riverside, and it's actually nice to have such a welcoming environment here. So between the fire pits and the early families out here surfing, and you have the pro guys on the pier, Huntington Beach just really embraces our surf culture and really embraces the people who surf and the people who don't, and there's all the businesses who support it, So I don't see that local, like, this is our beach, this is our turf. Everybody's kind of like, do your thing, man. We're in the water, and it's very welcoming.
As all things do, they get refined like a fine wine. Huntington Beach has been refined.
When you think of a surf city, you think of more of a city environment. And you see that in Huntington Beach with all the beautiful hotels lined along PCH, to all the amenities that a city provides right there. But then you walk across the beach and then you have a very consistent and fun beach break.
Huntington Beach is not the only coastal city. You have so many cities, right? And then you start comparing, which one is the safest for the kids, which one has good schools, which one is not as crowded, which one feels more peaceful. And I think Huntington Beach gets the first prize. I always tell my kids, just look around. You live in the best place in the world.
I try to come every morning. I love to come here to the beach to read and relax. It's so big, so you can relax and stay alone for a while. We are close to many beautiful places around here.
We just moved here a month ago from Bethesda, Maryland. Everybody's super nice. People stop and have conversations with you. People sit on the porch and people stop and talk to you. We know our mail lady and we walk everywhere.
All my neighbors have their garage open on the weekends. We all see our surfboards, we all talk, and it's a commonality that we have here in Surf City that we could just strike up a conversation with anybody.
I'm from Texas, actually. I moved to Huntington Beach for surfing, basically. I've been to San Diego, I've driven up the PCH, but no, I never stopped in Huntington Beach, and I just heard about it and wanted to come check it out. Just went for it. It's called Surf City, and I thought that sounded amazing. It was kind of like the dream I had. And when I first came here, I immediately fell in love with Main Street and all the surf shops there, and the fact that there were pro surfers from here.
We moved down from Oregon in January.
Here we were like, we want to live right across the street so they can just
Well, not
over.
even just for surfing, like just the convenience and like being right by like the center of town, having the accessibility to like be able to like just say, hey mom, like I'm going shopping, I'm going to get some food or whatever, like, and just walk down the street and like just have all that.
We've always liked the feeling of Huntington Beach. So a little more family friendly, relaxed, and very athletic.
I love the city. I think it's really lively, especially in the summer when it's warm and everyone's out on the beach and out on the streets, and there's street fairs. Every Tuesday night there's a market. I love the surf culture here. I think that's such a nice vibe.
So there's different spots in Huntington where you can go kind of find your own place if you don't want to be a part of the scene at the pier. It encompasses everything you would think of when you think of a city environment that's right on the beach. And it's, I think, one of the best locations in the world.
What do you like about it?
The weather. I like the weather.
Yeah, we live so close. We're so lucky to live literally 5 minutes from the ocean. You can go down PCH, go and get some pokey, and then sit in the parking lot and then watch the sunset.
Like if you don't surf, you walk by the beach, or you run by the beach, or you do something by the beach. We run into each other at the beach all the time.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Surfing.
Even when we don't plan it, like
Yeah.
we'll just see each other because we go where the waves are, and then everybody's where the waves are.
You see people out in the water that you know like all the time. So you have it's like a little family, like depending where you surf.
I try to go out with a bunch of buddies, and it's healing for us to sit there and just talk in the water. And then when we do catch a wave, it's that, man, it's totally worth it. You know, we're all hooting for each other. We laugh at each other. You know, so it's part of being in Huntington Beach. It's part of being in Surf City. It's part of the culture here. You know.
I always say it feels like a small town, cause like I'll go somewhere and I'll see like people I know everywhere I go. Like in the store where I work, I see people I know. Like just driving down the street.
But then there's other areas like tennis, and then there's skating. So there's like a lot of different areas where people like kind of form their own communities, but then we're all just one larger one just because of the ocean.